Welcome to Fallout 76. This is Jim. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my personal guide for beginners. And this includes people who are maybe experienced in the game once before and left the game and have maybe come back to play the game again. Because sometimes, as we know, we forget things, and especially when daily, weekly challenges come up, people get that mental block. And I kind of like to help people through my videos. And this one here, these are just my personal tips and tricks for folks who are starting out, stuff that I've learned over the years of playing the game. I'm not the know-all, end-all Fallout 76 player, but I can hold my own, for those of you who watch my channel. So I'm going to try to streamline this the best that I can, and without jumping around too much. And I'm definitely going to leave a timestamps in the description to kind of help with that also. Now, if you're an experienced player who play, at least four times a week like I do, a lot of this is, pretty much common sense. But I find on my channel, through the comments, I see more and more people who are fairly new to the game. And people who will stumble across this video will possibly find it useful as well. All right. So when you're a brand new character and you come out of Fallout 76, the Vault, and you never played the game before, it could be a little challenging. Now, when I played this game years ago when it first came out, this is like before Wastelanders, the game was pretty rough. It was rough just playing the game, on the Xbox One. It would always crash and stuff like that. It needed some improvements, and there were no NPCs, and as the game as we see it today, nowhere's near what it is today. Well, when the game first came out, it actually took a year off just to kind of for the company to kind of help streamline that stuff. And then once when Wastelanders and even Steel Dawn came out, then I thought, oh, it's a good time to go back to the game, and never looked back. So most people who play video games know roughly what kind of build you're going to be. Some people are melee players, swords and shields and up close and personal. Some people like myself are more riflemen, kind of sniper, sneak around and, without being seen. And that's the kind of player that I am. Some people like using power armor. Some people don't use power armor. I know I don't use power armor. I tried it maybe once or twice over the years, and I decided not to go with the power armor. Some people like the full health tank build. Some people like the low health bloody build. Everyone has their reasons to play, and everyone has their own playing style. So when you're a new player, basically all that stuff I just talked about, you don't even worry yourself about, because you're just basically picking everything up off the ground. You're putting whatever piece of armor you find, the best armor that you can find for the best defense and resistance, and you're using whatever weapon that your player can use that deals the most damage. That's basically what you're doing for, the first 20 levels, right? When I see players around the wasteland, I see lower level players, but I could tell that maybe they own another account, and you could tell they know what they're doing. As compared to other players that are low level, you could tell they don't know what they're doing. So kind of, pick and choose sometimes, helping them and stuff like that. But basically, when you're a new character, let's take a look at this real quick. Look at my weapons workbench. And just look at some of these weapons that I've learned over the years. So every weapon starts at a different level. See this baseball bat, level 1. Security baton, level 5, right? So depending on the level of your character, you might not be able to use certain weapons. See this Gulper Smacker, level 20, all right? So you got to keep that in mind when you're starting out. Now let's go down here to machine guns. Bow is a good weapon to start out with. We don't really use the flare gun too often. This hunting rifle is probably one of the best weapons to use at the very beginning, and I'm going to show you a good spot for one. Fixer, that's level 20. The short lever action rifle, or just lever action rifle, level 25. 44 pistol, that's level 5. That's pretty good. A lot of the shotguns are 15 and 20, so you got to keep that in mind also. But that doesn't mean you don't pick it up. You know, you can always scrap it, but we'll talk about that a little later. And the same thing for the armor. There's some armor that you might not be able to equip right off the hop, right? So some of this stuff is like level 20. Well, that's headwear, heavy armor. So level 1, this is probably the stuff you're going to be wearing right off the hop. You know, heavy leather armor chest pieces, stuff like that. Look at this light armor. So level 20, even this combat armor, that's level 20. Let's look at this leather chest piece, level 1. So same thing. People who are starting out going to be wearing this stuff as well. Just give you an example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a good spot that you can find a hunting rifle. So when you leave Fallout 76 right here, okay, most players come right down the hill, right? They come down the hill, they go to this moonshine shack, they go to this Gilman lumber yard, lumber mill, and they work their way down to Flatwoods. Now I'm going to suggest going a different path is go over this way to the Gully Mine. Not the Gully Mine exit, but the Gully Mine, the front door. So let's fast travel there real quick. And I'm going to show you a good location for a hunting rifle. Now, back in the day when the game first came out, there wasn't a whole lot of YouTube videos going around about this stuff. People were just kind of learning the game. So there's going to be some Scorched here. And as a new character, new player, you're going to be... you know, you may be overwhelmed. All depends. There's usually about 4 or 5 on the outside here. But you know, you could just pick up some stuff around and stuff like that. So what you want to do is when you go in, you don't go in the mine itself. You head right up these this little ramp and up these stairs. Up these set of stairs. Okay, you go up here, and then you go up this ramp here. Right now, Scorch is a good source of hunting rifles, shotguns, and you know, melee weapons, pipe weapons also. But as I showed you, you may not be able to use them if you pick them up. But you can still pick them up and scrap them, but you may not be able to use them. And then you keep going up the stairs here. And then you take a left, you go up this little ramp. And right on the ledge here, there's this little swingy thing here, okay? And right down there where that body's at, there's a hunting rifle there. See the hunting rifle? And so when you first come, I recommend when you're a new character, you come right down here and you pick up that hunting rifle, and that'll probably be the best weapon as a brand new character, level 1, that you can use. You'll probably end up using that hunting rifle for a very long time, like I did, all right? Even if you're not a hunting rifle person, maybe you're a shotgunner or a heavy weapon or whatever, but when you're a brand new player, you're going to take what's offered to you that's the best. And when you're a new player, this hunting rifle is probably one of the best, all right? And the ammo it takes is 308, and you can find 308 everywhere in this game, all right? So that's that. Now, I'm going to show you a good spot for a pump-action shotgun. Now, pump-action shotgun is good for level 5. So after you're done here, you can work your way through the forest. You don't have to go to these spots. If you're a new player, you kind of avoid because sometimes there's super mutants around. You go right over here to Helvetia, right where we do the Fashnet Parade. Let's fast travel over there real quick. Now, there's going to be a lot of Scorched through here as well. You could decide to, kill off those Scorched and, to level up your character. But if you decide not to, you can just work your way right through these woods here. And where we're going to go is we're going to go to that white church at the other end of the town. All right. There's going to be some scorched inside as well. You can hear them. Huh? Jeez, saw me coming there. Alright, pick up some ammo here while we're here. What you want to do is when you get inside this church, you just go up these stairs and you head out back. Most churches around Appalachia are just set up just the same. We'll go right along here, just make sure you don't fall in the hole there. And what right here, right before you go up those stairs, up to the steeple, right here in this red chair is a short pump-action shotgun. And right next to this campaign hat, you can grab that. And there's usually some food there, we'll eat that. But those are, so this pump-action shotgun you can use at level 5. And that bolt-action rifle, hunting rifle we saw at the Gully Mine, that's level, you can use that at level 1. Right? So those are 2 great weapons to have at the very beginning. Because let's just face it, for the next 20 levels, you're basically going to be using whatever weapons that deal the most damage, all right? And at that time, if you're a new player, then that way there you can decide what kind of build you want to be and help you progress that way there. Back in the day, that hunting rifle and this pump-action shotgun were the things to get. So, yeah, so if you come here and that's not here, if you're a new player, server hop, because there's, it's part of the game to server hop. There's nothing wrong with it. And it will be here. All right. It's just same thing with that hunting rifle. All right. There we go. And armor, same kind of deal. Armor, you'll find armor all over the place, off of Scorched, off of super mutants and stuff like that. Even some of the dead bodies, like this Raider corpse, you'll maybe find some armor on them as well. Yeah. Yeah. Nice little workbench in here as well. Got a mod right here for, whatever you want to use, right? Got some other apparel that you can use when you're a new character. Alright, so that's that. The next thing we're going to talk about are perk cards, alright? So perk cards, you open up your Pip-Boy. We're going to hit Y in my case. So perk cards basically, from level 4 to level 10, you'll receive a new perk card pack at every level. And then after level 10, every 5 levels you'll receive a perk card pack. Right, that's the way it goes. At least it hasn't changed. It's not that I know of anyway. Now you have the special up here, right? So 15 is your max on each one. And basically, there's other ways you can earn perk card packs, and that is from completing challenges, right? So level up challenges. So let's check that out here real quick. So right over here, you can keep scrolling down to see character, right? So level up 5 more times, see perk card pack. And we'll scroll down here a little bit more. So you see how level 4, 6, 8, you'll receive extra perks. And then when you get up to level 10, it's like every 5 after that. So you see that, how that works? Receive a perk card pack. Now, once in a while, for like these other challenges, you'll see the odd perk card pack pop up here, as well as other things that you can earn. Okay, atoms, not just atoms, but it's other things as well, right? And you can earn perk card packs by completing those challenges, as I've just mentioned. You can earn perk card packs off the scoreboard. Right? Check out the scoreboard here. Don't like how you can't back out any further than this. But usually on the scoreboard, there'll be some parts on here that you can earn perk card packs. The odd one will be up there. Usually about 2 or 3. They're around here somewheres. Just trust me, they'll be pretty. Yeah, so there you go. Some perk card packs. That's followed first, but you can get them if you're not followed first. All right, so that's another way you can earn perk card packs. Now there's some perk cards that I want to talk about real quick here that are extremely useful to have. Right, so a lot of other perk cards are lockpick and basically these riflemen, like whatever for your build, right? Whatever that's going to help you, your character have success. Now under charisma, there's a perk card here that I highly recommend, and it's hard bargain. Buying and selling prices, non-player vendors are now much better. So if you get these cards, rank it up as much as you can, and that will help you save some money at the vendors. All right, non-player vendors. All right, and under intelligence, okay, we have this gunsmith. Okay, you're going to need gunsmith in order to craft certain weapons. All right, but also this one here is called Fix It Good. You can repair armor and power armor up to 200% of normal maximum condition. So when you get enough of these cards, duplicates, you can rank it up to the highest, and all you do is just swap them out. It's part of the game, swapping out perk cards. All right, so it's always good to pick out certain perk cards that will help you. Fix It Good is one of those perk cards to have maxed out. Makeshift Warrior, also another one to have maxed out. Melee weapons break 80% slower. You can craft 6-tier melee weapons, all right? So I used this one once upon a time ago to craft some weapons that were melee and to kind of help my character to do a daily, weekly challenge. I had a whole bunch of them, but it's good to have all in all. Keep going here. Weapon Artisan, you can repair any weapon 200% of the normal maximum condition. So Weapon Artisan is a really good one to have, so that way when you repair your weapon at your workbench, it'll go, and if you have this equipped up here, it will go to 200%. Right now, certain weapons have different durability, like the lever action that I use. A lever action has very low durability, so I have to repair that weapon more frequently than I would if I had a hunting rifle, for example, okay? So I find this Weapon Artisan really good to have, all right? I think that's it for here, yeah. All right, so then under Agility, good card here to have. It's the other way. There we go, Ammo Smith. Produce 80% more rounds when crafting ammunition. Now, sometimes if you end up with a lot of caps, you're looking for something to do, you can just buy ammunition. But if you're crafting ammo on your own, especially when you're a newer player, you don't have a whole lot of caps, and maybe you have some resources and you're just running out of ammo. If you come across this card, Ammo Smith, make sure you hang on to it, max it out if you have to, and you can always swap it out when you're crafting ammo. All right? I think that's it for here, yeah. Now under luck, once when you get high enough character, so I don't think you'll see Class Freak and Starch Jeans out for a little while. But once when you get them, make sure you hang on to them and max them out, because Class Freak, the negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 76%. Starch Jeans, you will never mutate. From Rads and Radaway will never cure mutations. All right, so when you have mutations, these two are awesome to have. And another one, a lot of cards under the luck are really good to have. Like, yeah, they're pretty good cards. But I want to highlight one in particular. It's called Super Duper. When you craft anything, there's a 30% chance you'll get double results. So when you find Super Duper, hang on to it, max it out, and you will not go wrong putting Super Duper on when you're crafting stuff. it's a really good card to have. Highly recommend it. All right. Okay, so that's the regular cards. So let's talk about legendary perk cards here. So at the top of this section here, you'll see legendary perks. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the most you can have of legendary perk cards are 6. All right, as far as I know, unless something changed, because as we know, this game changes all the time. All right, so once when you reach level 50, you'll be able to unlock slots for these legendary perk cards. It goes 50, 75, 100, 200, 300, and so on until these 6 slots are filled out, all right? A couple perk cards that I highly recommend that I use myself and will recommend is Follow Through. Range Sneak damage increases damage to target by 40% for 10 seconds. That's 4-star. Highly recommend this guy. As well as Far Flung Fireworks. It's just a 1-star. Enemies killed with a ranged weapon have a 10% chance to explode, and if you watch my channel, it happens a lot. So that's why I kept it at 1-star. I never really ranked it up because it happens quite often. All right. I got Charisma, I got Agility, I got Luck. This Luck's always good to have, and I have Master Infiltrator. Now you'll see me in certain videos, and I'll highly recommend Master Infiltrator. Auto unlock, skill 1 terminals and locks. +3 lockpick and hacking skill. So that's just a 2-star. I can auto unlock a lot of stuff out there in the wasteland. And when you have this particular legendary perk card, okay, you don't have to go to perception and then swap out all these, lockpick perk cards every time you see a lock or something that you can't get in. All right, having that Master Infiltrator, I'm telling you, just avoids all that and makes your life a lot easier. Okay? Highly recommend this card. There's other great cards in the, to choose from as well. I think there's like a poison card, less poison. That's a good perk card as well. I don't face a whole lot of characters that have poison. My build and the way I play, I'm more so for daily, weekly challenges. If I come across the odd poisonous enemy, then so be it. So that's just the way that I play, and that's what makes me happy. All right. Now, next thing I'm going to talk about is called perk coins. All right. So perk coins you can earn from scrapping perk cards. All right. Now, I do not recommend scrapping perk cards. It doesn't cost you anything. Having a lot of perk cards, it doesn't cost you anything. And the reason why I say that, some people will clean it up, but I would highly recommend you don't scrap your perk cards unless you absolutely know for sure what kind of build that you want, what kind of build that you might want to try. If you have the slightest bit of doubt, don't scrap it to get perk coins, okay? Because I did that once upon a time ago, and I highly regret it. Because there's some perk cards that I don't have, that I did have, and I'll probably will never see again because they're totally random, right? So that is my pro tip. Don't scrap the perk cards unless you really know what you want. And like I know myself, as of right now, I'm not a melee player, and I won't wear power armor, so any perk card that involves melee players and power armor, I'll scrap to get perk coins if I have to. But everything else, I'll leave alone, all right? If I have the slightest bit of doubt, I won't bother. So that's just my recommendation, all right? But let's see if we can find one here. I think I went through. So Expert Gladiator, one hit. So I'll never be Gladiator. I won't be using melee. The only time I do use melee, pardon me, is daily and weekly challenges, but that's it. I'm not going out for days, weeks upon end being a melee player, so I can scrap this guy. Do you want to scrap this card for 4 perk coins? Yes. So there we go. Now, when you get those perk coins, I can head up here, legendary perk cards, right? And I can unequip and I can rank up. So let's see this Master Infiltrator here. Let's rank it up to a level 3. So it's going to cost me 100 perk coins to rank this from a 2-star to a 3-star. All right, now I could do that, but I'm not going to bother right now because I'm quite happy. I just wanted to kind of show you that. All right. But depending on, let's go back to that for a second. Depending on what rank it's at, will cost different. So let's take a look at this far-flung fireworks. Let's try to rank that up. See, it's only going to cost me 50 perk coins to go from 1-star to 2-star. So it changes, all right, just to let you know. But you're not going to need perk coins basically until you reach 50 anyway. And to use those legendary perk cards, right? All right, so that's pretty much it for that. Let's talk about mutations for a second. Mutations under stat effects. So these are the mutations that I have: Bird Bones, Carnivore, Eagle Eyes, Healing Factor, Marsupial, Speed Demon. Now, I forget how many mutations you can have, all right? Obviously, you can't be a carnivore and a vegetarian at the same time, but you can have most of the other cards all at the same time. These are the mutations, These are the mutations that I prefer, and these are the ones I hang on to, and these are the ones I like. So in order for me to get these particular mutations, there's a couple ways I could do it. Now I can go get enough radiation on my character. So you see the bottom of the screen says HP. When you're in a radiated zone or in, let's say, toxic water, dirty water, whatever, you'll get rads. And even though if you go to the wiki, it'll say, you can get rads, right off the hop. But I've tried this many a times. I didn't start getting rads until I had maybe 25% of life left for whatever reason. Tried it countless times. And the mutation I got was a mutation that I didn't want. All right. So when you get a mutation, it goes away if you take a Radaway, if you take a diluted Radaway, or if you go in one of those contaminated showers, all right, under aid. See this Radaway? So in order to keep your mutations, you got to have certain perk cards, and we just went over that real quick. It's under luck. So class freak, starch genes. So starch genes, you will never mutate from rads, and Radaway will never cure a mutation. So this will keep mutations on your character, even if you take a Radaway, even if you go in a contaminated shower, you will keep the mutations that you have if you have this card selected. If you don't have this card selected, let's say you were switching cards around and you forgot, you took a Radaway, say goodbye to your mutations, okay, or at least one of them. And that could be a little bit of a pain, all right? Now, with mutations, there's a good side of mutations, but there's also a bad side of mutations. And having this card here, Class Freak, the negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 75%, looks like. So this is maxed out, obviously. So those mutations, as you see here, Bird Bones, Carnivore, Eagle Eyes, Healing Factor, Marsupial, Speed Demon, all the mutations will have good sides and bad sides of it, all right? So having that Class Freak keeps a lot of the negative effects at bay, all right? So keep that in mind as well. Now, I got all these mutations from mutation serums that I bought from other player vendors, all right? Now, other players, you can either buy them if they're cheap and then resell them. Some players will actually craft the serums, and I'll show you that here in a minute. When you do the Enclave quest line, you complete it. Let's go to the White Spring Bunker here. When you complete the Enclave quest line, there's a robot here called Modulus that you can buy stuff from. If I get inside here, if it'll let me. But that's The way that I would prefer is just to buy them from other players, because a lot of other players will craft them, takes up inventory, and they end up selling them for cheap. Fairly sure that I bought every one of those mutations for under 100 caps each, all right? Which is pretty awesome. Back in the day, they're really, really expensive because the plans are really expensive. Put this gun away here. All right, so you go right down to here. Sorry, it's been a while since I come here. Take this elevator. Go down. We want to make our way to the science section. Huh. Oh my lord, it's been a long time. Communications, all right. So communications, straight down through here. Science wing, okay. Take a right. Keep going straight. Go through these this little area here. Genetics lab. Oh, okay, perfect. There's these guys here. Let's go trade. Go over here to notes. So there you go. So there's all the recipes for all the serums, and 22,000 caps each, right? So it can get expensive. And this is why I prefer just to buy the actual serum from the player, unless you want to get into the the selling of items to your vendor, buy these recipes. But I usually just buy the serum themselves and use it. All right. So let's get out of here for a second. So let's say I wanted to get a different kind of mutation on top of what I have now, all right? What I need to do is I need to go to my perk cards. I need to take off starch genes, because if I take the serum, it won't work, because the starch genes is equipped. I need to take the starch genes off, take the serum, and then when I get the mutation, seconds later, I put the starch genes back on. That's how that works, all right? You leave Class Freak alone, right? Just an FYI, right? That's just my recommendation. All right, so we talked about that. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about public teams, right? When you're a new character, especially, join a public team as much as possible. Doesn't matter how level you are, just join a public team. I always suggest a casual team, as there's no expectations to go to the pit, no expectations to go do daily ops. You don't have to hang around with the other players on your team. You can if you want, but you don't have to do what they do, all right? So you go to your main screen here, top right hand corner says social, all right? So we can either create a new team or we can join a team. Now every team has like different benefits, all right? Let's look at that real quick. Become a public team leader, and even if you're a low level character, if you're a public team leader, it doesn't matter, all right? Most people in the game do what they're going to do anyway, all right? So you have expeditions, right? Bonus XP for completing expeditions. Role play, bonus charisma. Events, bonus XP for completing events, right? That's a good one to be on. Exploration, bonus endurance. Casual, bonus intelligence. You'll also get a little bit of bonus XP there as well. Daily ops, bonus XP for completing daily ops, all right? So these are the 6 that you can choose, all right? Now joining a public team has a couple other benefits. You can share perk cards with other players. Other players can share perk cards with you. When you join a public team, wherever their camp is at on the map, it becomes a free fast travel. So keep that in mind as well. It's very handy to have. And it doesn't matter, even if you're on a casual team. If a team member is, let's say they do 2 or 3 events and they get caps, a portion percentage of caps not from that player will go to every player on the team. So let's say we're on a same public team. I do an event somewheres, and I get 100 caps for completing that event. All right. The other players that are on the same team will get a portion of caps, not from my 100 caps, but they'll get, let's say they'll get 30 caps or 50 caps or whatever it is. So that's another great bonus of being on a public team. All right, so that's that. Next up, we're going to talk about lunch boxes. So lunch boxes is under aid. You can earn lunch boxes from the scoreboard. You can earn lunch boxes from doing the challenges, right? See that real quick. Some of these challenges now, like character, survival, combat, social, world. You can earn lunch boxes through these guys, okay? You can earn lunch boxes through the scoreboard. There's many places on here you can earn lunch boxes. You can even buy lunch boxes in the atomic shop, all right? So lunch boxes, what they do is start a party, open near your friends so everyone can enjoy. All this does is it gives you XP, all right? Maybe a few of the little benefits as well. You'll see some people open up a lunchbox, and when you shoot an enemy, sometimes they'll explode into like little bits. Sometimes they'll explode, and there'll be a bunch of paint and confetti, little animations, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Let's grab some stuff here because I'm getting thirsty and hungry. All right, so lunch boxes are very useful to have. I usually save the lunch boxes for events. I'll just get near other players before the event starts, open up a lunchbox, and sometimes that sparks a whole event of all the players opening up their lunchboxes to help everyone else out for XP, and I'm fairly sure that they stack. All right, and I think the lunchboxes, the gain is for about an hour. All right, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we're going to talk about aid. Talk about Stimpaks and Radaway. So, Stimpaks and Radaway are good to have on your person. Some of it's good even to have on in your stash box as, backup, okay? Because if you're a low-level player, you may be getting killed a lot. So if you find Stimpaks, have some on your player, but also have some in your stash box as a backup, okay? Once when you build a camp, of course. Or you can go to Red Rocket fueling stations. So Stimpaks are normally found on human enemies like blood eagles and cultists, and even grafted monsters will have Stimpaks on them. Once when you kill them, of course. And Radaway are commonly found on ghouls. Okay, when you kill ghouls, you'll find Radaway. You'll find diluted Radaway. Same with the Stimpaks. You'll find Stimpaks and diluted Stimpaks. So, knowing this, it's good to have, a good place to go for the cultists and the blood eagles, like a good, go-to place, so you can pretty much expect, how many they're going to be and stuff like that. And it's good to know aid, where aid is at anyway, because there's daily and weekly challenges that pop up. They'll ask you to collect aid. So that just makes it easier. Look, there's a Coca-Cola Quantum. I'm going to take that. Huh, right on. Perfect. All right, so that's aid. Now, resources. Resources is going to be a constant thing throughout this game, all right? So if I take this globe, for example, right? That globe is going to have a certain weight to it. Now, if I scrap that globe, the weight will go down because I broke that globe down to a few parts, all right? So always keep that in mind that, let's say you're close to your carry weight and you're walking around, running around until your carry weight's too high, then you have to rest more frequently. You don't have to drop all your stuff. If you make your way to any workbench and scrap that stuff, right, it'll lower that weight down. It will lower your weight because, If I scrap this down, let's take this globe for example, go over to junk. So this clean globe, it weighs 0.75. But if I broke this down, it gives me 2 cork, 2 plastic, and a screw. It's going to weigh less than that 0.75, okay? So always kind of keep that in mind. Now, you can always tag for search when you're looking for stuff. Look at that real quick. Gone over this many times in many videos, but I thought I'd include it in this one here. So, whatever junk items you have on you, all right, you go to your junk, and at the bottom of the screen you see component view. So you select component view, and that will break down your junk items to resources that you can use for crafting, all right? And see the bottom of the screen says tag for search. So tag for search will bring up a little magnifying glass. So you bring up a little magnifying glass, and what that does is whenever you point at a junk object out in the wasteland, if it has resources in there that you are looking for, it'll have a magnifying glass next to it, just like how that clean globe had a magnifying glass next to it before we picked it up. That means I had screws. See, I had the screw kind of magnifying glass, so I had screws tagged for search. All right. This robot's going to walk over me here. But you can also untag it. You can tag it and untag it, whatever you want to do. Now, as a new player, I always kind of highly recommend to tag for search for, you know, the most popular stuff out there. Once when you grab a hold of the junk item, I always recommend tag for search for lead, copper, aluminum, screws, springs, gears, glue, ballistic fiber, and black titanium, because those resources are always going to be used all the time, because there's armor, there's weapons that you need to either upgrade or craft or repair that you're going to need those items for. So they're the most, other than steel and wood, they're the most needed items, right? You could probably go for days without using, you know, plastic and cork and ceramic and stuff like that. But lead, copper, aluminum, screws, springs, gears, glue, ballistic fiber, and black titanium are items that, you know, you may use more frequently. All right, so I always highly recommend, once when you get a hold of them, tag for search. And that way there, when you're going along the wasteland, you know, it'll come up. All right. Just make it a little easier for you. So next thing we're going to talk about is scrapping junk and power armor. So when you're a new player, as I mentioned, you're picking literally everything up. And once when you pick everything up, you scrap it, you reduce your weight, you put it in your stash box, and the same thing goes for your stash boxes on your person. All right. So you saw how we went through that globe here, 0.75. If I put that globe in my stash, the same thing happens. But I highly recommend to scrap everything before you put it in your stash box, because it'll just lower the weight of your stash box, and that way there you can put more stuff in it. All right, so I always like to go through my stash once in a while, because sometimes if I die or if the server crashes or whatever once in a while, it doesn't happen very often nowadays, but I'll go in my stash box, I'll find, you know, like this clean globe or like items that still need to be scrapped in my stash box, right? So it's good to go through your stash box once in a while to make sure everything is scrapped, all right? And knowing where junk items are located, all right, this also helps with daily, weekly challenges, you know what I mean? And I know we all get that mental block once in a while, but it's always good to know where to find this stuff. Because let's just face it, we all only have so much time in the day, right? And that's why my videos are short and to the point, because I realize that because I only have so much time in the day myself, and I like to kind of pass that information on to other people. And the same thing, and we'll talk about the next, is scrapping armor and weapons. So scrapping armor and weapons has 3 benefits, okay? One is you have a chance to learn a mod for that piece of armor or weapon. So pick up as much armor, pick up as many weapons as you can, and scrap it, okay? Because you have a very good chance to learn the mod. You even have a slight chance to learn that plan. Okay. Um, for the armor weapons, they weigh a lot, right? So scrapping them also decreases the weight, as I just used that example for the globe, right? If you scrap that piece of power armor down, it goes like, let's say from 26 units of, to maybe, one or two, because you scrap that piece of power armor and, weapon or just regular armor. And also by scrapping armor and weapons, you also get resources from them, of course. Okay, you can put that in your stash box or scrap box, whatever. So pick up as many as much as you can frequently, especially when you're a new player. I know when I show my videos and I show all the recipes and all the mods that I have, it's good to have the option. All right, it definitely pays off. Now once when you decide on what armor and weapons you like and you're gonna go with, okay? Now most of you know my rifleman build here, all right? I use this handmade. I use this Western Spirit lever action rifle, okay? What I ended up doing, I ended up buying the plants for them because I just wasn't coming across as many of them as I would like to have, because sometimes when you scrap them, you won't get any mod from them. Let's just face it. So the weapons and the armor that you decide on, buy the plan or find the plan. You'll probably end up buying it and craft them, and then just start scrapping them. You can craft these weapons at level 1, which is the lowest cost of resources, all right? And basically you can scrap this stuff, learn as many mods as you can, and then that way there you'll have the best available for your most favorite weapon. That's my another good pro tip for you, okay? Let's go somewhere else here. Go back up to my camp here real quick. And I'll kind of elaborate on that a little bit. All right. It's go time, she says. Scavenger up there on top of the rock face there. Huh. All right. So, like this Western Spirit, for example, is a lever action rifle. Probably one of my favorite weapons in the game. I have a lot of mods. And you see all these mods that are available? All these mods I got is from crafting this weapon and scrapping it. That's how I got all these mods, except for these paints. I either bought it or I got the paint off scoreboard. Okay? Same thing with this handmade. Same exact thing. So keep that in mind. Okay? That's just, if you like the weapon, you like the piece of armor, craft as many as you can. If you can afford the resources, do like a little grind for a week. Craft them and then scrap them. It's definitely worth it. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about is food. Okay. Now, those of you who watch my channel know that when it comes down to food, I'm a huge hoarder. Okay. And I'm a huge hoarder because I like to make YouTube videos to help you guys. And I like to have this stuff available at my fingertips so I don't got to go out and look for it. Because when you're making videos to help people, the last thing I want to do is make the video longer than it needs to be just to find this stuff, all right? Sometimes I'll show you where you have to go in my videos, but most times I'll have it already on me, okay? Like eating pre-war food, for example, or eating or drinking alcohol and stuff like that, all right? But when you're a new character, a lot of times, like I know I watched my son play a little while ago, and his character's only 49. He plays it once in a while. And like I could hear from the kitchen that his character was like starving. And I said, give your character some food, bud. He said, I can't find any food. So I highly recommend pick up as much pre-war food as you can. You don't have to have as much as I have. You don't have to have, 314 canned dog food. Set a limit. Okay, set a limit for 25 to 30 canned dog food on your person, and I would say even to have in your stash box, because what this does is, you can keep your character well fed, and you can use that pre-war food for daily, weekly challenges. All right, so there's two great benefits for it, and I also highly recommend camp build resources. Okay, so this candy machines, for example, right? We got in season 11. This water cooler, for example, this popcorn machine. They are great resources to have in your camp. They're passive. They just collect on their own while you're playing the game. I just come in here every day or two, collect this stuff, and then it just starts filling up on its own. I don't even have to do anything. All right. One of the best things you can get, best things you can find. All right. Now, these water coolers are actually bought bought the plan off another player's vendor, maybe last year. The candy machines we got in season 11. The popcorn machine I think was in season 9 or 10. I can't remember. But if they ever go on sale in the atomic shop, like if you see them in the atomic shop, buy them, because they're very, very valuable to have, because popcorn and this candy counts also as pre-war food. And then that way there you don't even have to pick up dog food. You literally don't have to pick up anything else. You could just basically eat and use for daily, weekly challenges this candy and popcorn. Like, no joke, all right? And also as a new character, playing kill animals. Okay, kill animals. You take their meat, you cook it at a cooking station. Once when you pick up the meat, the raw meat, you will automatically learn the basic recipe at your cooking station, all right? You don't have to go out and find a special recipe for it, right? So all food, a lot of this stuff here is all from me picking up just regular meat, right? So let's say this chicken noodle soup, for example. Let's say you kill a chicken, you pick up the chicken thigh, you will automatically learn chicken noodle soup. You don't have to go out and find a special recipe for it, okay? Then all you need is boiled water and wood, all right? Just like that, for example. Drinks, some of the drinks are the same thing, all right? Except for this lemonade. This lemonade is actually a special recipe you have to buy from Mr. Squeeze. It's a random encounter. But most of the stuff in here, you'll automatically learn, all right? And all that ties into daily, weekly challenges, okay? Like, I can't highlight it enough about completing daily, weekly challenges and having all this stuff available to you so you don't have to go look for it, all right? Because that's the last thing you want to do. You only have so much time. You have this stuff at your fingertips right in your camp, all right? Quick and easy, fast as possible. Knowing some locations is good, for plants, harvesting. I always bring you to the same kind of places. Most times I do that just because I'm still a fairly new YouTuber, and some players are constantly joining every day. And, if you're a new player, you might not know certain places to go, right? And even up here, this one here, Cobbleton Farm. All kinds of places. Even there's some places here in Morgantown near Big Al's Tattoo Parlor, right under that bridge, that Causeway Bridge. So it's good to know where to go, right? Yeah, so it's good to know locations of that stuff. It'll just help you with daily, weekly challenges. And then, we already talked about that there as well. I'm just kind of going off a list that I kind of made just to kind of make it more streamlined. So now let's talk about drinks. Pick up drinks as much as you can. All right. Same kind of deal. My day-to-day drink is purified water that I get from the water cooler. Okay. Or Nuka-Cola, which is classic Nuka-Cola, I should say, and Nuka-Cola Cherry, because they are the most frequent Nuka-Cola versions that you can find. Right. So Nuka-Cola Cherry and classic Nuka-Cola. These are the most that you find in the wasteland. So I use these two and purified water as my, my day-to-day drink. All the special Nuka-Cola, like the Nuka-Cola Quantum, Twist, Orange, Grape, Dark, they're also good to have, and I usually store those. I usually store them in my stash box. I bring them out. I'll have them on my person as well, just to kind of save some time, but I don't drink them. I only drink them when when I need to create a recipe, because some recipes require Nuka-Cola Quantum. All right, and then Orange and Grape, Twist, they'll pop up for daily, weekly challenges, and we've gotten them the last couple weeks here from when I'm making this video, so they've been good to have. All right, really good to have. And once again, highly recommend. Talked about it for the last couple weeks now. This Nuka-Cola Collectron Station. Okay, we got this in, God, I think it was season 8 or 9 or something like that. And then in season 11, we got the Nuka-Cola Quantum. It's under resources. Right down here. This guy here. And then this Quantum one. It'll collect Nuka-Cola as well, but it collects a lot of purified waters, what I was told. But I just like to stick to the regular one. Very handy to have. If you ever see that in the Atomic Shop, definitely buy it. Highly recommend it. Another great resource to have in your camp. All right. And as you see there, like, we've been getting a lot of Orange and Grape lately. Daily, weekly challenges. And look, there's 5 Orange and 3 Grape in that thing. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm actually going to pick up that Nuka-Cola. And what that will do, will give room in that for that robot to collect some more. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is alcohol. Same thing. Alcohol is good to have. +1 strength. It's always good to have a limit, though. All right. You don't need to have all kinds of alcoholic drinks on you, but it's good to have some, because daily, weekly challenges will pop up. Right. Like this beer will have +1 strength. Right. It's bourbon. Same thing. So they're good to have on your person, but also have in your stash box. Just set a limit, so you're not, you're not over carrying, and that way there you'll have them for the daily, weekly challenges. That's what I would kind of recommend. And there are some good alcoholic beverages to have in your stash box. It's called Meyer Magic Moonshine and Nuka Shine. So Nuka Shine, we actually have to craft ourselves. I actually made a video on this, maybe I think it was like last week or the week before. But to make Nuka Shine, you actually get Nuka Shine from completing a quest in Morgantown at Big Al's Tattoo Parlor. You talk to Biv. And basically, after completing that quest, you'll learn fermentable Nuka Shine, which you can craft and then throw in your fermenter and actually make Nuka Shine. And then you can turn that into vintage Nuka Shine by leaving the Nuka Shine in the fermenter. All right. So I have a couple of videos on how all that goes. All right. But Meyer Magic Moonshine, does come up with dailies once in a while, at least once a month. Okay. So let's pop on over here real quick, where you can find that. Right over here. Sunday Brothers Cabin. That's where the Moonshine Jamboree happens, that event. Now you do go down through here. Now there's going to be some fairly high level ghouls in here. We'll take care of them here real quick. I just kind of want to show you where that Meyer Magic Moonshine was. Take care of that guy way in there. Go in here. And on this table, you see right there? You can actually pick these guys up. All right? So sometimes a daily, weekly will pop up. Kill an enemy while intoxicated by Meyer Magic Moonshine. There's 2 of them right here. There's 1 down there. And that bear's mouth. So 3 of them in this one spot. This is the only spot you can get them. You can actually put this Meyer Magic Moonshine in your fermenter and turn it into vintage Meyer Magic Moonshine. I have a video on that as well. I made a long time ago. But it's always good to kind of collect this stuff when you're just kind of fooling around, put it in your stash box. That way there you have it, because when that daily comes up, everyone and their dog will be coming here looking for these, and it'll take you a lot of server hops to find them. So that's another pro tip here for you. Next thing we're going to talk about is your carry weight. So as I talked about the last couple, subjects there, set a limit on your pre-war food and drinks. Sometimes legendary effects and mods on your armor with ultralights and then pocketed armor, they'll also help with your carry weight. Sometimes you'll find weapons with decreased carry weight, legendary effect. The more strength you have in your special here, right? It'll make you stronger, all right? That way you can kind of carry more. There's a couple perk cards in there, like this pack rat. Weight of all junk items reduced by 75%. All right. And backpacks. Now, backpacks deserves their own kind of video, okay? But a small backpack, when you're a brand new character, you can actually get from the Overseer's stash. And that is located in Morgantown. So highly recommend going to Morgantown Airport. Okay, let's go there real quick. If we get there. Highly recommend when you're a new player, one of the first things you get, I think you have to be at least level 20, is to get that small backpack. It will help you. The small backpack carries half the amount of weight as the large backpack does. So the large backpack you get from completing the tadpole quests, okay? And it will definitely help you. All right, so there's the airport there. But you actually go inside the airport building itself. And inside that airport building is area where there's Overseer's kind of stash box. And there'll be a plan in there for the small backpack. Highly recommend that. All right. And you could buy the backpack mods. I bought all the backpack mods that I have from Minerva for a pretty good price. Backpack mod that I have is the Grocer's backpack. Reduces weight of all food and drinks by 90%. Does not stack with perks. So, as you know, as I talked about, as you've seen, I'm carry a lot of food and drinks on my person. That's why I have this Grocer's mod for the backpack. All right. If I didn't have that Grocer's mod on, I wouldn't even been able to walk. All right. Oh, goodness. Let's talk about camp build resources. So camp build resources are worth their weight in gold. Let's go back to my camp here real quick. I slightly touched on that there. As I said, I'm trying to streamline this guide the best that I can. But we'll just kind of go through here real quick here. So it doesn't have to be just for food and drink. It can be any kind of resources, okay? Like this Collectron Station, for example, okay? I have this tree sap collector, access adhesive, all right, stuff like that. These candy machines, popcorn machine, the water coolers, and they're all just passive. They just collect stuff while you're playing the game. Camp resources, I can't even this coffee maker here. Yeah, I forgot about that bad boy. Coffee maker, same kind of deal. Awesome to have. If you see them for sale in the Atomic Shop, buy them up. Crops. Crops are always good to have in your camp, okay? So a lot of times when I'm doing videos, I bring you to certain spots to find crops, okay? Either for recipes or for other daily and weekly challenges, okay? I recommend planting a bunch of crops in your camp if you can, all right? I kind of highly recommend, plant 15 corn, 15 razor grain, okay? Because they count as pickup, crops or wild plants. You can use them for recipes. You can use them for crafting beer. I would say corn and razor grain, probably one of the best things you can have in your camp. 15 of each is great. And that way there you cover all your bases for your daily, weekly challenges, right? We'll talk about daily, weekly challenges. You can set yourself up for success. Basically, sometimes there's double score, right? So keep an eye on the ticker. Sometimes you'll see double score pop up. We had double score this past weekend, and I'll usually start off in the video saying double score. So double score will never be on a weekly. You always see it on the dailies, all right? So instead of 250, will be 500. Instead of 1,000, it'll be 2,000, right? So double score, definitely worth to have, especially when you're grinding the scoreboard. And that's what my character kind of focuses on, is the scoreboard, and get as much score as we can, all right? That's that one. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the fast travel, just real quick. So there are some fast travel spots on the map, right? Of course, your camp is a fast travel. If you're Fallout first, you have the survival tent. That's a fast travel as well, all right? Another free fast travel is right up here in Crater, in case you didn't know. Free fast travel, you don't have to spend any caps, okay? Another free fast travel is right here at Fort Atlas. Right down here at Foundation. Right over here at the White Spring Resort. All right. I believe the Rusty Pick is a free fast travel as well. Yeah. Never used to be. And right down here, Nuka World on Tour. So there's quite a few free fast travels. And you can use that to your advantage of where you're going. You can save caps that way, all right? Now, there's another perk card that I forgot to mention, actually, that will help with that. Try to find it here. Yeah, there it is there. So it's under Charisma. I should have mentioned this earlier. Just kind of thought of it now. Travel Agent. It's only a 1-star. You pay 30% fewer caps when fast traveling. The only thing is you have to keep swapping them out. And if you swap it out for an important card, it might be, might hurt you a little bit. But Travel Agent is a perk card worth having because it saves you some caps while traveling around the map. All right. I think that's it for that one. Yeah. So the scoreboard. So I talked about this several times on the scoreboard. So there are some daily and weekly challenges that will pop up, all right, where we have to collect caps, collect legendary script, collect legendary cores, legendary modules, stamps, stuff like that. So I have a couple of videos on this. I highly recommend saving all those and don't pick them up unless you have a daily, weekly challenge. Unless you really need them, I guess. But I highly recommend not to, because when a daily, weekly challenge pops up, all you gotta do is cover the scoreboard and claim it, and that will finish off that daily, weekly challenge. So you get these stamps. So stamps you can only earn from the expedition, completing an expedition, or on the scoreboard. So if there has been dailies that come up before, say, collect 5 stamps, and people were like, oh, I gotta go to the expedition now. Some people don't like going to the expedition. I don't go to the expedition, but you can come right here to the scoreboard. As long as you haven't collected it, you can, claim your stamps, and they will have get credit for that daily, weekly challenge. Same thing with these caps, the 2,500 caps. So the next daily or weekly that pops up is say collect 2,500 caps. I could just come here to the scoreboard, claim this, and it will count. All right, so that's just another pro tip there for you. So while we're on talking about caps, every day at the train station, there's vendor bots that will have a certain number of caps on them. So let's go to a train station here, Grafton Station. Stop talking here for a second. All right. All right. Let's trade with this vendor robot here. So 1,400 caps. All right. So I could sell enough stuff to this robot, and get 1,400 caps. But that's all vendor robots. So if I sell 1,400 caps worth to this vendor robot, all the other vendor robots I won't be able to sell anything to, because it's like 1,400 for all vendor robots. Now sometimes a weekend special will pop up on the ticker, basically saying that all vendor robots will have more caps available, basically, so you can use that to your advantage. Now if you're a brand new player, I highly recommend going to places like here in Welsh. Okay, so here in Welsh, here in Grafton, there's a lot of super mutants. Okay, and maybe some scorched. So they'll have armor, they'll have weapons on them. Okay, down in the good place here is here in Morgantown Airport. There's a lot of scorched, so you'll pick up a lot of weapons, a lot of armor. Had that event, Collision Course. Okay. That will yield a lot of weapons and armor. Right down here in Welsh, we have all those mole miners down there with their, with their suits, with their shotguns and stuff. Same thing, and there's a station nearby, and that's what I always kind of highly recommend. If you're on the hunt for some caps, you could go to these places here, collect as much stuff from all those enemies, and go to the train station nearby. So that way, because you're going to be overweight. And then sell it all. You can scrap it, which we talked about before, but if you need caps, just sell it to the vendor robot. That way there you can get the 1,400 caps. Nice, quick and easy there. Now your cap limit is 40,000, okay? And a lot of times, when you get up to a certain level, like here you see 39,636 for me, I try my best, everything I can, to buy a little something every day, but a lot of times I've maxed out. And I'm not saying that, hey, look at me, everyone. It's the honest to God's truth that I wish there was like a bank or a piggy bank or something we could put these caps in, because it seems like all the time I'm maxed out. Like I'll go out and buy plans and stuff that I don't even need just to bring the caps down, because what will happen is a daily will pop up and say, collect 2,500 caps, right? But even though it says 2,500 caps, let's say if I sell 2,500 caps worth, like right now, I will not get credit for it because I only have, 300 some available, right? So anything over 40,000 caps will not count towards the daily or weekly challenge. So keep that in mind. I learned that the hard way. I'm thinking, why isn't this working? And sure enough, I was maxed out on caps and I wasn't getting credit for all the caps I was trying to sell. Get some more stuff in me here. All right. Yeah, so we talked about that. The next thing we're going to talk about is a free shelter. Okay. When you get going along and you're a low level player, come up here to Vault 51, okay? And you get a free shelter. Now, that won't be on the map right away, but you can go in that general area and you'll come across this vault here. Once upon a time, you weren't able to go inside the vault, but you can now. There's a little button inside this trailer that you have to hit. That little red button. You hit that button and that door will open, all right? It's just a little... nothing real special in there, just a bunch of scorched. But basically, for the free vault here, your new home shelters, you just read this, and if you don't have the shelter, it just brings you to another little quest. It's extremely easy. There's no enemies down there. You go down the shelter claim center. There's a robot down there, Mr. Handy, and you'll end up with a free shelter and some stuff. All right, so I actually have a video on that, so you can check that out. If I can remember, I'll put it at the end of this one. But yeah, that'll give you a free shelter, and the shelter that I have at my camp, it's basically that shelter. All right. I do have another larger shelter that I got from paying Fallout First for a couple months there last year, but all I need is just free shelter right here, right? And if you follow my channel, you've been inside the my little shelter here. Suits my needs anyway. And this is what you get for free, right? Pretty cool. Right down through here. And that's pretty much it. It goes a little bit further, but right where that wall's at, pretty much where it ends. But you get these little electrical, parts that you can add power down here and such. All right, so that's that. So we already talked about the backpack. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. So the carry weight for the backpack is 60. For the large backpack, for the small backpack that you get at the Morgantown Airport, that's 30. All right, so it's half the weight. So quest lines, very important quest lines to do. Some of the OG quest lines that we had before was, of course, the Vault 76, the Responders, Raiders, Free States, Brotherhood of Steel, Enclave, and then the Wild Appalachia came. And it wasn't until the Wastelander update came where we have all these NPCs. Then we got a really good piece of armor called the Chinese Stealth Armor. And if it's any quest line to do, I would say do the Wastelanders quest line. You get that Chinese Stealth Armor. It'll save you gold bullion for buying it from Minerva because it's still quite expensive. You get it for free doing that quest line. And for me, being a rifleman, kind of a sneak kind of player, it was a huge game changer. And and then you also, get the able to use the gold bullion, right? And, we got the other quest lines like, Steel Dawn, Steel Rain, and then we got the Expeditions and the Nuka World on Tour that we just got recently, last year or whatever. So a couple quest lines there. And the very last thing I'd like to talk about is Fallout First. Now, those of you who watch my channel, since this game came out, I only had Fallout First for maybe 2 months. I only planned on having the 1 month, but I forgot about it there. I ended up paying it for 2 months. But basically, Fallout First, in my experience, is you get the scrap box and the ammo box. All right, so let's take a look at that real quick. Right on my camp here. Highly recommend to have a stash box. This guy, scrap box. So, as of right now, I don't have Fallout First. So you see the bottom of the screen that says, why scrap and store? I can't do that because I don't have Fallout First. However, all the stuff that I have in here, I could take out of this scrap box. And the good thing about this, when you have this scrap box, is when you have junk items, you instead of breaking them down at a workbench, you just come right here, so it scraps and stores at the same time, which is pretty awesome. All right. So when I had that Fallout First, that's the first thing I did. It just saved up so much room in my stash box. It wasn't even funny. So to me, it was really worth it to have this scrap box here. And last season, season 11, we got this ammo storage box. Now the same kind of deal. Ammo, depending on what it is, can weigh a lot, right? And see this 2mm EC. So this stack weight is 104. So if I didn't have this ammo box, I'd have 104 stack weight in my stash box. Same thing with this plasma cartridges, 143 stack weight, right? As compared to, other rounds like 45, right? I have, 11,000 rounds of 45, so only 33 stack weight, but it all adds up. And this ammo box, definitely worth its weight in gold. But same thing. Right now, I don't have Fallout First. I can't put anything in it, but I can take out of it. All right? So keep that in mind. The survival tent is good for placing down an area for a free fast travel. Or if you're grinding something, I know sometimes it'll pop up once in a while to get honeybees, all right? And right up in this area up here, right up here, you'll find a little kind of cave area, and there's about 3 honeybees that'll show up there. And when that daily or weekly pops up, you'll guarantee 100% of the time you'll see a survival tent up here. Someone and they're just grinding them. So you can use a survival tent for that purpose. You can use it to grind stuff. Like if it's like, holiday scorch, you can put it in an area where there's scorch. Like when that's going on, you'll see a couple survival tents down here at Camden Park, right? And when I see that, I don't even bother going in. Yeah, so, and of course, Survival 10 is a free fast travel. Now, just to let you know, because when I first got Fallout First, there wasn't a whole lot of information on it. So let's take a look at that real quick. Let's quit this. So you see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it says Info Fallout First, right? So as soon as you pay for Fallout First, whether you're on Xbox or your PlayStation or you're on the PC, it doesn't matter. As soon as I paid for Fallout First, like within minutes, I had all these benefits. I had the 1,650 atoms just snap of a finger. I was able to get that Ranger outfit, scrap box, and of course the ammo box was available, the survival tent, private world, everything. So all the benefits for Fallout First, when you pay for it, you get that like immediately. Like there's no waiting around. And I know when it went into the second month for me, and I was like, oh, I missed that time to, cancel the subscription. I canceled it probably a week into the second month, but I still had all the benefits of Fallout First until the end of that 30 days, right? So just an FYI, if you cancel like in the middle of the month, you're not going to lose those benefits. You have that benefit until the end of the month and until the end of the 30 days until that subscription comes up again to be renewed. So just an FYI, there's not a whole lot of videos out there explaining that. So I thought to put it in this video because it's good to know, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know the video probably the most longest Fallout 76 video I made so far. I know I covered a whole lot, and I will be putting timestamps in the description. If you don't see it right away, just be patient because I'll have to kind of go through it again and make sure it's all right. But of course, I know I probably missed something, but I did go through a lot. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comments section. Try to be respectful, though. That's the only thing I want to mention is because, as I said at the beginning, there's a lot of new players to the game, and a lot of this stuff is common sense to the players that play 4 times a week like myself. But I went through it, try to make it as accurate as I can, and try to streamline it. But if you do have any questions, or you want something, me to elaborate a little bit more on a certain topic, let me know in the comments as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share when you have the chance. It really helps me out. And I hope you all have a nice day.